Well, good morning, and thank you very much, Chairman Cole, Ranking Member Quigley, Ranking Member DeLauro, the full committee, and all of the members of this subcommittee for welcoming us here and for the opportunity to discuss President Biden's budget request for the Department of Transportation, seeking resources totaling $145 billion. I want to thank the members on both sides of the aisle who have been true partners as we work together to build a better, stronger, safer transportation system for the American people. Your leadership has helped to make the 2020s into an infrastructure decade for our country. We're in a moment of both profound challenge and historic opportunity for U.S. transportation. On one hand, our transportation systems are still grappling with the consequences of the pandemic, climate change, and decades of disinvestment. Industries have become more concentrated, often slashing staff and leaving the system less competitive. And when something goes wrong, Americans bear the burden, from millions of airline passengers stranded during the holidays to the residents of East Palestine, Ohio, after the Norfolk Southern train derailment there. Yet this is also a moment of unrivaled opportunity and progress. Thanks to the President's leadership and the work of this Congress, we have unprecedented resources to modernize our infrastructure. Every week, shovels are hitting the ground across our country. To date, we've announced over $200 billion for over 23,000 infrastructure projects, and we're continuing to get funding to communities as swiftly as we responsibly can. To name just a few examples from the transportation dimension of that investment. Already, we've started repairing 4,600 bridges and improving almost 70,000 miles of roads, which will mean lower costs, fewer delays, and safer trips. We've awarded the first round of grants under our Safe Roads and Streets for All program, delivering safety funding to big cities like Detroit, rural communities like Fayette County, Iowa, and tribal lands like the Blackfeet Indian Reservation in Montana. As you know, we see roughly as many traffic deaths in America as gun deaths every year. That's why the President's budget includes $3.1 billion for the Highway Safety Improvement Program and advanced safety research initiatives. We have also advanced public transit projects across the country. This budget includes $4.45 billion for our popular capital investment grants, which have supported major initiatives like the 2 light rail extensions in Phoenix and the Red Line extension in Chicago. And the budget would give transit agencies the flexibility they need to use federal formula funding for operating expenses as they adapt to new post-pandemic ridership patterns. We've strengthened ports around the country, from smaller ones like Helena, Arkansas, and Kaskaskia, Illinois, to major ones in Portsmouth, Virginia, and New York City. Our work on supply chains has helped to cut the number of ships idling at U.S. ports from over 100 down to the single digits, and the President's budget includes $230 million for the Port Infrastructure Development Program to continue this important work. For rail, we've made nearly $18 billion available to improve service and safety, to advance more than 70 major projects, and proposed a new rule that would require a minimum of 2 crew members per train. Derailments are down compared to decades past, but it is unacceptable that we still see roughly 3 per day in the United States. That's why the President's budget includes $273 million to support FRA safety personnel and expand our inspection capabilities. I've been heartened by the recent surge of bipartisan support for rail safety, and we are eager to work with anyone who is serious about this subject. That's why we strongly support the Railway Safety Act and hope that all of those leaders who have spoken out on this issue will join us in supporting that work. Aside from funding good projects, we're also using our regulatory authorities to protect the traveling public. In aviation, we're getting airlines to honor the tickets they sell and compensate passengers fairly when there are issues. The cancellation rate has stayed well below 2% so far this year, compared to over 5% in January 2022, but there's still much more work to do. It's part of why the President's budget includes $24.8 billion, which will help to hire new air traffic controllers, improve airports, and modernize critical systems. In short, there's a great deal of work underway and a great deal yet to be done. Our transportation system is at a turning point. We're finally in the process of renewing its physical foundations, but we're also grappling with serious vulnerabilities that pose real danger to workers, families, and communities. In 2021, Congress demonstrated that it could deliver the transformative bipartisan infrastructure law that had evaded our predecessors for decades. Now we need to bring that same dedication to sustain those investments in America and ensure that they reach every person and every community. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here again, and I look forward to your questions.